Peppa Pig is the kind of show that defines the childhood of anyone who has ever watched it. But have you ever noticed the incredible animation and logic errors that happen in the episodes of the Little Pink Pig show?
Goodbye, childhood.
Most of these mistakes are pretty funny, and the big mystery is whether they're actual errors or if the show's creators are purposely making a joke and poking fun at fan theories. One of the biggest fan theories about Peppa revolves around the mysterious Madame Gazelle. She's a foreign teacher who moved to England many years ago, and fans believe she might actually be a vampire. As you probably know, vampires don't have reflections in mirrors, and in the Halloween episode, while Susie Sheep is talking to the teacher, we see Susie's reflection in the classroom mirror, but Madame Gazelle is nowhere to be seen. Was this a mistake or just a joke? We have no idea, but it's pretty creepy to think that these kids are being watched over by a very suspicious lady. You know the drill. Grab your popcorn, sprinkle a little garlic on it to ward off the vampires, and let's dive into the 16 mistakes in Peppa Pig. Welcome to another Cinewave. Is it hot where you live? If so, maybe you could do something in the water, just like Peppa and her family in the episode Swimming. Daddy Pig took everyone for a cool day at the community pool, and to spot the mistake, I need you to notice the order of the door colors. At the beginning of the episode, the doors are arranged from left to right in this order: blue, green, yellow, and red. The episode moves along without many problems, but when we get to the end, look at how the colors change. Now they're red, yellow, green, and blue. And on top of that, the screen's axis shifts with no explanation. In the episode Pedro the Cowboy, the kids go to Pedro's house to play outside with the pony's tent. If you pay close attention, you'll notice that next to Pedro's house, there are 2 flowers when everyone is arriving. But when the scene changes to the parents picking up the kids to take them home, the flowers are gone. Sure, it's a small detail, but it's still a continuity error.
I sense I've made a mistake of some kind.
It's Daddy Pig's birthday, and Peppa wants to help make the birthday cake. Pretty clever, right? I mean, who hasn't helped their mom make a cake just to come up with an excuse to lick the bowl afterward? That's exactly what Peppa and George do, but pay attention to what happens in this scene. Mummy Pig pours all the batter into the baking pan, but in the next shot, when Peppa and George ask to lick the bowl, there's still cake batter inside. The animators need to decide if there's something left for them to eat or not, don't you think? There's nothing like a scenic train ride to refresh your energy. You look out the window, breathe in some fresh air, and realize that your neighbor can clone himself. That's probably what the Pig family thought when they saw the following mistake. In the episode The Long Train Ride, Daddy Pig has to go on a super long trip on the city train, and the family asks him to take them along since it's a trip to another country. Why not make the most of it and spend some time together? When they board the train, which is, surprise surprise, conducted by Miss Rabbit, one of Peppa's neighbors, Mr. Cat, is sitting inside, ready to go. But when they arrive at the destination, we see that Mr. Cat is already at the station waiting for the other Mr. Cat, who was already on the train. How does that make any sense? And what about you? Do you like traveling by train, or would you rather send your clone in your place? Comment with #train so we know. This is another one of those mistakes where we can't tell if it was done on purpose just to make us laugh. In the episode Tidying Up the Bedroom, Peppa and George are making a huge mess in their room, and Daddy Pig just wants to read his newspaper in peace. If you pay attention to the layout of the Piggy siblings' room, you'll see a door on the left, toys on the floor, a window at the back, and a bunk bed on the right. It's clearly a small room, but everything changes a few minutes later. When Daddy Pig comes upstairs to see the mess his kids are making, he steps on one of George's toy cars, and his fall is so dramatic that it looks like the room is huge because he tumbles across several meters that don't exist in the room. And when he falls, where did the bed go? When the shot is wide, the room is small, but when it zooms in, it becomes large. Weird, right?
Are you saying I'm stupid?
Or maybe Daddy Pig is a wizard. In the episode Goldie the Fish, Peppa takes her pet to the vet, and when everyone gets home, we can see that Daddy Pig is wearing a shirt and tie, something like work clothes. But suddenly, the tie and the white shirt underneath disappear, and he's back in his usual outfit from the other episodes. I keep saying that Peppa's teacher and her friends are weird, but no one believes me. In the episode Madame Gazelle's house, Peppa's family goes for a visit. I don't know why, but watch your next, people. Anyway, when you look at Madame Gazelle's lair from the outside, you can see a tree pushing the house to the right, meaning everything inside should be leaning in that direction, right? Wrong! When Peppa and George enter the house, everything is tilted to the left and they slide in the opposite direction, which makes no sense. And if that wasn't strange enough, when they move to another room, the house tilts again, but this time to the right. Instead of sliding down, they go up. I don't get it. Is the house tilting to the right or to the left? Another great mystery, or better yet, another big mistake, is our good friend Danny Dog, who apparently has the power of teleportation. Just watch the ballet class when he disappears from one side of the screen and reappears on the other side, as if he's passed behind a camera and crossed the set. Yes, Peppa is a TV show, but there's no camera there, so this is definitely a mistake. If Danny can disappear, then so can the moon. There's the full moon, waning moon, crescent moon, and now the hide-and-seek moon. In the episode George's New Dinosaur, our favorite little piggy is sad because he broke his favorite toy. But that's not the surprising part. As you can see, the moon is visible outside, but when the shot zooms in on Mummy Pig, the moon disappears, even though the window is still in the frame. Maybe a dark cloud passed by at just the right moment. Now, we have some great news for you, a true fan of the world's most famous pink pig from animated cartoons. We're introducing a channel where you can find absolutely everything about Peppa, the pig family, and all their friends and relatives. Don't waste any time, subscribe now using the link in the description or point your camera at the QR code on the screen and start playing. I'll be waiting for you there. Remember the order of the doors from the pool day? It seems like a hot day can alter reality in Peppa's universe. When Miss Rabbit needs to take a day off, and consequently the whole city has to pause, we see that Daddy Pig was chosen to sell ice cream in her place. But check out the order of the flavors. We have vanilla, chocolate, banana, grape, pistachio, and strawberry. But a few seconds later, the order changes to pistachio, banana, chocolate, grape, vanilla, and strawberry. And no, Daddy Pig didn't switch up the flavors because he only touches the boxes afterward. That makes no sense at all. In this show, some things change places, appear out of nowhere, and some objects disappear without warning. In the episode George's Friend, the little ones enjoy a day at the park, but George doesn't have many friends, which is a bummer. But everything changes when Rebecca Rabbit and her brother Richard show up. George goes to play with Rebecca's younger brother, and they both have buckets to build sandcastles. However, the playtime doesn't go well at first, and everyone ends up fighting. But what really stands out is that the sand buckets suddenly vanish from the scene without any explanation.
This is the worst!
In the episode about the shiny wheel horse, Peppa and George receive a gift from Aunt Dot, who lives far away. She sends them a toy that's a pony on wheels. In this episode, a very funny mistake happens. Notice in the kitchen that we see the sink counter and a regular trash bin next to it, but when the shot closes in, the trash bin disappears and is replaced by recycling boxes. Recycling is important, sure, but where did the trash bin go? We all agree that George is very small, right? And theoretically, he doesn't have the strength to lift heavy objects. In the episode Shopping, the pig family goes to the supermarket. No problem so far, but when it's time to grab the fruit, the narrator points out a really big watermelon. Here's where the logic fails. George just picks up the giant watermelon and throws it into the cart. Okay, I know it's just a fruit and not a 10-kilo weight, but still, the little piggy is just a baby. He wouldn't be able to lift something that size. Still in the same supermarket episode, in this scene, we can see they're in a section selling vegetables and greens, but just a split second later, they're in a section selling potted plants, like they teleported to the other side of the store. Yes, it could be an editing trick, but it's such an odd cut because it looks like they didn't even move. The last mistake is so obvious that there's no way to cover it up. During episode 42 of season 2, Peppa and George go to play at Grandpa Pig's house. When they walk inside, you can see a light bulb hanging over the staircase, but when they start going up the steps, the light that should be there just isn't there anymore. Does the light bulb disappear when it turns off? It's impossible not to laugh with this little pig and her friends, right? Everyone loves the mistakes in this show, and if you want to keep enjoying more content, we've chosen 2 more videos for you to watch. See you in the next one.